Oda literally revealed the previous owner of the Nika devil fruit in this chapter, and what's even more shocking is the fact that he foreshadowed this character 900 chapters ago. We also saw Luffy using Giant Gear 5 against an undefeatable admiral, Kizaru, and we witnessed the awakening of the Iron Giant. In chapter 1092, there were numerous small details, so let's start from the beginning. What is Kuma's goal? What is he trying to accomplish? In this chapter, we saw Kuma reach Mary Joey's. He defeated all the guards with Ursa's shock and even injured a few celestial dragons. Akainu fought Kuma and melted a part of his face. Kuma did not even try to defend himself. He simply ran and disappeared. He didn't care about Akainu. He was on a mission and had to reach his destination. But where was he running to? Usually, when people who have been repelled by Kuma's powers arrive at their destination, the bubble vanishes and the victim lands in the middle of a large paw print, completely unharmed. However, in chapter 1071, Kuma didn't land. It was a high-speed impact with full force. We saw that his goal was not to reach Mary Joey's. He was heading somewhere in the New World, and the only way to cross the red line was to climb it. I am almost certain that he is going to Egghead, and there are numerous hints for this. And in chapter 1072, Bonnie mentioned that her dad would never abandon her, and in this chapter, in Akainu and Bonnie's flashback, she repeated the same words, which is true. Kuma was known to be a good father, so I believe Kuma asked Vegapunk to implant a command in his brain. This command would activate when his daughter was in danger and he would go to rescue her. Kuma left the revolutionaries and started running in chapter 1067. But why? Bonnie was not in danger. Or was she? Here's where Oda's genius comes into play. Bonnie attacked Vegapunk with a beam saber in chapter 1067. This saber attracted an enormous cloud of insects that led to Bonnie passing out. In that same chapter, Kuma left the Kumabaka kingdom. At the time, it seemed like a humorous detail that Bonnie passed out from insects, but every detail has a meaning in Oda's writings. Bonnie passing out activated Kuma's command because technically she was in danger. In chapter 1067, Bonnie passed out and Kuma started moving. In chapter 1071, Bonnie returned and Kuma was stuck at the red line, so technically he stopped. In this chapter, Kizaru attacked Bonnie, putting her in danger again, and Kuma continued his journey. We don't know why Kuma gave up his human form. It's a big secret, and I'm sure he made this decision for a greater cause, such as freedom or exposing the world government. When Bonnie saw Kuma's childhood, she started crying. However, after seeing Kuma's entire memory, she appeared quite happy, as even Luffy pointed out. Furthermore, we can confirm that Bonnie is not Katarina Devon because she attacked Kizaru. So Bonnie's happiness is genuine, and she no longer holds a grudge against Vegapunk. While we can't currently speculate about Kuma's secret, I am certain that Kuma would not have abandoned his daughter like that and is going to Egghead to rescue her. Also, at the start of the current chapter, it was written that everything happened yesterday, implying that Kuma left Mary Joey's yesterday. Most likely he will arrive at Egghead soon, because the Kamabaka Queendom is in the first half of the Grand Line. If he could reach Mary Joey's in one day, he should be able to reach Egghead from Mary Joey's in a day as well. What will Kuma do at Egghead? Of course he will try to protect her daughter, but what else? What if he regains his memory? I've mentioned many times that Egghead is parallel to the Sabaody archipelago. Will Kuma rescue the Straw Hats again? Logically, the Straw Hats can't escape without defeating Kizaru first because he can follow them anywhere. However, if Luffy defeats Kizaru and the Straw Hats escape from Egghead peacefully with a happy ending, it would be quite unusual for the New World. This is especially significant considering that Kid and Law lost their crews a few chapters ago. Therefore, I believe Kuma will sacrifice himself. This would mark the end of this great character as he saves his daughter and the Straw Hats, leading to another sad and emotional moment. At the end of chapter 1092, the ancient robot's eyes powered up upon hearing Nika's heartbeat. This implies that the power source needed for this giant robot is the Drums of Liberation. We also know that the Iron Giant attacked Mary Joey's 200 years ago, even though it was built over 900 years ago. No one knew where it came from or what its purpose was. It's known that technology was slightly advanced in the ancient kingdom and Nika was alive during that time. But why did it activate 200 years ago? It was impossible for even Vegapunk, the greatest scientist, to find the energy source for this robot 200 years later. And now it only powered up after hearing Nika's heartbeat. So what happened 200 years ago? In chapter 219, an old ship named Saint Breeze fell from the sky in front of the Straw Hat pirates. A skeleton and other debris from the wreck landed on the Going Mary's deck. Robin explained that the ship must have fallen from a sky island and examined the skull. She deduced that the skull belonged to someone who had died 200 years ago at the age of about 30. Robin speculated that the individual likely died of illness and his teeth were still intact because they were coated with rubber oil. Yes, rubber. When Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji explored the ship for more clues and treasure, they discovered another skull with only a few teeth. This suggests that the rubber oil was found only on one character's teeth, and this character lived and died 200 years ago, similar to the Iron Giant that powered up, attacked Mary Joey's, and then ran out of energy. I believe that this character with the healthy teeth was the previous owner of the Nika Devil Fruit. The St. Breeze was a ship full of explorers, so it's likely that they found this devil fruit and one of the ship's members ate it and awakened the Nika fruit. We still don't fully understand how the Iron Giant operates, but perhaps it has one mission, and whenever it's powered on, it attempts to fulfill that mission. Maybe during that time, this giant robot was on Skypiea. No one knows where it came from, and it's not easy to hide a giant from everyone for 600 years. Perhaps everything happened accidentally, but one thing is certain. The energy source for the Iron Giant is Nika's heartbeat, and it activated 200 years ago, exactly when skilled explorers who even managed to reach Skypiea lived. Oda dedicated 2 chapters to this ship, so I'm convinced it's not just filler. Skypiea is the arc with the most secrets about the Void Century and the One Piece treasure, so I believe this is one of them. It was stated that the world government tried to capture the Gomu Gomu no Mi for 800 years, but it was never mentioned that other pirates or explorers did not find it. I'm sure that more information will be revealed about this mysterious character. Now, let's discuss Luffy versus Kizaru. Kizaru easily defeated Snake Man Luffy. He's like a robot, not inclined to fight against his friends, but he does it anyway because he's on a mission. Surprisingly, he didn't even attack Frankie because his clear goal is to eliminate Vegapunk. Meanwhile, Vegapunk managed to crack the code, but their happiness was short-lived as Kizaru suddenly appeared behind them. The chapter concludes with Luffy transforming into a giant Gear 5 form and capturing Kizaru. I'm glad Oda showed us Kizaru's true strength against Luffy because I think he's very underrated. He has never lost a fight, defeated 4 supernovas as if they were punching bags, battled the Pirate King's right-hand man, had the upper hand in a clash against Whitebeard, defeated Sentomaru and Bonnie, and sent Gear 4 Luffy flying with a single attack. Let's see what he will do against Gear 5 Luffy. Maybe we'll finally see an awakened Logia user in action. Most likely we saw the effects of Akainu and Aokiji's awakening at Punk Hazard. This makes sense with tangible elements like sand, ice, magma, snow, and mud. But what about Kizaru's awakening? In chapter 1090, Saturn implies that Kizaru is able to control an external light source. Kizaru then seemingly confirms it by saying it's feasible. I think he'll be able to control any light source around, whether that is lasers, sunlight, or unnatural light, which will make him very powerful. He may be able to remove light, making it impossible for his enemies to see or make it extremely bright, which could cause blindness. So Luffy may have to fight a man who can move at the speed of light with his eyes closed. It will be a tough fight, but will make Luffy's observational haki way stronger. I also want to mention that Kizaru destroyed Vega Force 1, but it's not a problem, because in chapter 1067, Shaka revealed that he created Vega Force based on what he learned from the Iron Giant, so now they have a more powerful version of the Vega Force. While it's difficult to compare him to Kaido, we might be witnessing the strongest opponent Luffy has ever faced. I wonder if his Straw Hat becomes giant as well. This might offer clues about the giant Straw Hat in Mary Joey's. Perhaps Joy Boy wasn't a giant after all? Egghead is reaching its peak, and I'm sure the Straw Hats will receive bounty increases after this arc. If you're interested in this topic, you can watch this video right here. Thanks for watching.